Hello guys, I'm so sorry. Hindi ko actually alam what happened. Pero I had an error na Facebook down. Uh, got disconnected or something. But hello again, and hello to everyone who's gonna watch this later, the replay, and hello to everyone on YouTube and on Facebook, and welcome back. So we have already covered question number one, and before tayo naputol, I was answering a question about yung mga strategies that can be used in a sped school by Ma'am Casey. She was the one who answered before we got cut off. And um, yun yung, that's where I got cut off. Ang important lang na tinatry ko i-emphasize earlier was that in a group of kids sa class, I was talking na about the calm down corner. So it's a separate area in the room dedicated lang talaga for emotional regulation, sensory integration ng kids. And para lang makabalik sila dun sa task na wino-work on ninyo without the feeling na parang dinidiscriminate sila or parang punishment siya. Okay, so yun yung goal nyo na ma-achieve with the calm down corner. It might be difficult kapag walang teacher assistant, but that is why you can have it works, magbe-benefit din kayo if there's really a time, like pwedeng homeroom schedule ninyo where you can work on the calm down corner. Now, ano yung andun sa calm down corner? You can have chairs lang, you can have some pillows din, and you can have toys there for regulating kung saan nila pwedeng malabas din yung emotions nila. Like for example, very common, you can find yung mga squeeze balls, pwede din Play-Doh, pwede rin stuffed toys, pwede rin yung mga cards that they can use as guides on what they can do sa calm down corner. So andun yung deep breathing, andun yung mga counting backward. So essentially mga strategies that they can use for regulating themselves, their emotions, before they can go back to the task na pinapagawa ninyo. So yun siya. And then after that one, after you use that strategy, kapag hindi pa rin kaya ng kid na siya yung gumawa, okay, so you can guide the kid to the calm down corner. And what's good there is kapag since nakikita na nila yung area as not a punishment area, mas open din sila to using it and going there when they need it. So wala nang feeling na, oh, if I go there, parang ibig sabihin pinagalitan ako or I'm a bad kid, mga ganyan. So nawala na yung ganyang feeling. So when they need it, it's less work din for you. Yun yung goal, na sila na yung pupunta dun sa calm down corner, and then sila na din yung babalik dun sa regular seat nila. So yun siya, ayan siya. And then kapag yun siya, classroom level, and kapag hirap pa rin yung kid, that's when you can take them out na of the room and then privately dun mo i-process with the kid or ask if kailangan nyo ba talaga na sa labas i-process yun. So pwedeng playground time or something na extra, yung intervention mo sana na ginagawa mo in the class, pwede mo siyang gawin privately. Yun lang siya. Pwedeng outside, right outside the door, or pwede yun yan sa playground para hindi ma-feel ng kid na publicly mo siya kinall out. So, ayan. Okay, sige. And yun din pala, instead of kapag ka walang teacher assistant and you really have to call out the kid, it's best if you call out a group rather than that specific kid agad. So, pwede all the kids on this side, quiet muna, all the kids on this side, para lang masama siya dun sa group na yan and they won't feel like sila yung na-single up. Okay. Hello, Intali Speech, and hello, Marielle. Okay, so we're done now with question number one and that additional question natin. So I think we can go now to question number two for tonight. Okay, so here, okay, so this is a question about an old video that we had. In this video, I was talking about the growth mindset. And ang question niya, even as an adult, your video strongly resonates with my own experience. Could adults still unlearn their overemphasis on academic intelligence and learn to empathize and be a humble, lifelong learner? Hello, Janine. Ayan. Okay, so we have here, yung question niya is yung growth mindset ba pwedeng ma-apply sa kanya as an adult? Now, actually, ito yung basis ko rin for the whole growth na occupational therapy, yung use of the growth mindset in working with kids and also working with parents. So that goes, that's applicable for everyone, hindi lang for kids. and hindi lang with how you communicate with them. It's best then if you can also show to them how to practice a growth mindset. Like basically, kung paano mo siya i-apply in your own life, makikita din naman nila and makikita ka as a model on how to apply it. So si growth mindset, ang opposite niya is the fixed mindset. Ibig sabihin sa fixed mindset, connected siya dun sa sabi natin last week na parang you label someone. Like be careful with how we label our kids. Kasi sometimes these labels, yun yung nakikita nila as their identity na parang if you label them as lazy or if this is the smart kid or ito yung mabait na kid, like they take it on as their identity and they're gonna think, I have to be mabait. I have to be smart. So which part of this one yung magiging magpapa-appear sa akin as smart. Okay? Kasi yun yung identity niya. Okay? Or pwede rin saan yung magpapakita sa akin as mabait. Or which one is lazy. Kasi yun yung doon naman ako nakilala. So to take that identity, ito yung mga behaviors na ipapakita nila. Okay? Sige, now here, sa adults, it's applicable not just to the kids but also to us adults. Alam ko yung situation niya, yun yung overemphasis on academic intelligence. And I've talked to OTRPs din, lalo na yung mga bagong graduate lang kasi yun nga, as I've mentioned, I've worked din sa review center. And so I encounter mga OTs na galing college and internship mag-shift towards adulthood after nung board exam nila. And a lot of times, syempre may concerns din sila about their own development, about their own competence, lalo na mag-treat sila ng kids, di ba? So it takes a lot of parang reflection din. Ganun din ako nung nagsa-start, parang paano to yung mga parents. Syempre iba yung feeling if you're gonna work with actual, like yung patients na talaga versus yung pinapractice niyo pa lang in the classroom, di ba? So ganun yung feeling na, lalo na kapag sanay ka, okay, while you were growing up, nasa school, ikaw yung achiever na student, di ba? So matitake mo, oh, I'm an achiever, I'm a top student, I'm a parang role model, okay? And it gets difficult if they transition na towards adulthood na, di ba, pagdating mo outside of school, hindi na ganun yung situation, tama? Pag nasa workplace ka na, ganun yung feeling ng mga ibang OTs dito. Yeah, so i-type nyo lang if you have that same experience when you transition na towards adulthood na parang iba talaga yung feeling kapag adult ka na, di ba? Wala nang magre-reward sa'yo, wala nang magsasabi, very good, wala ka ng report card, all the decisions you make as an adult, parang ikaw na yung mag-evaluate sa sarili mo, ikaw na yung titingin if yung mga decisions mo ba or where you are in life, nagla-line up pa rin dun sa parang what's considered as good or parang as an achiever or as somebody who's smart or a good person, mga ganyan. So wala nang magsasabi sa'yo na, oh, good job, pero this is what you did with your career, or good job, nag-start ng business, or good job, you have this relationship. Wala nang ganun, wala nang report card, walang positive reinforcement, di ba? So ikaw yung mag-ano sa sarili mo. Now, dito papasok yung growth mindset. Yan, agree si Camps. So yung tayo ng experience. And I think a lot of young adults din ganun yung experience. Kasi ang mangyayari here, you want kids to go to use the growth mindset as early as possible. Kasi coming from that fixed mindset, I have to be smart, I have to be good, I have to be perfect, I have to be mga ganyan. Siyempre, kapag papasok ka sa adulthood na, ang dami mong mistakes na magagawa. And even with kids, di ba? If you're gonna start learning a new sport, learning a new art activity, you're gonna have a new math lesson, new science lesson, you're bound to make mistakes. And if you have a kid na trained na, I'm perfect, I'm smart, I'm like this, a role model, they would rather prevent themselves from making mistakes. Kasi kapag nagkamali sila, edi hindi ka na smart, di ba? Ba't ka magta-try if ma-at risk yung label mo of yourself as somebody who's smart, di ba? So that's why the application here when you work with kids is that your praise should focus more on the effort rather than yung personal attribute nila. So instead of, oh, you're smart, ganyan. So you have to say, oh, good job putting in effort, or great effort on this one. I saw how hard you work. Good focus on this one. Good. Basta focus ka on how much hard work and effort they put in sa job nila or sa task, rather than yung you're good, you're smart, you're perfect, you're ganyan, di ba? So para mas ma-encourage pa sila, and of course, kapag nag-effort ka naman, dun din naman papasok yung improvements and development, di ba? So yun lang siya. So that's essentially shifting the perspective ng kids na instead of chasing yung reinforcement or yung praise from you, they would get the good feelings from the act itself, from putting in effort dun sa trabaho nila. So yun siya. So yes, so yun siya sa kids. Applicable din po siya in adults. So when you start with this one, you have to know lang na hindi ka fixed. You're in a process of growth. Ganon siya for me, ganon din siya for parents din. Okay? Yung sa parents naman, they have a lot of pressure on them kasi I think ako din nung bata, I saw my parents as perfect. Di ba? Parang walang mali, alam nila lahat, ganyan. So, pag may tanong ka or may problema ka, they know the solution, sila yung tinatakbuhan natin. And then, when you grow up, alam mo naman pala na, oh, may mistakes din sila, ganyan, di ba? So, even parents, even as a parent, you can also be in a growth mindset. So, ang pinaka-easy and pinaka-mabilis na i-apply dito is to tell your kids na yung line na I don't know. Okay, so when you tell your kids I don't know, it gives them an idea na hindi ka perfect as a parent. Ikaw din as a person, you're growing. Like you don't know everything and it's okay. Okay, so pag may mga tanong sila, lalo na yung age na yung mga kids, di ba, madalas bakit ganito? Why? Bakit ganyan? Ang dami nilang tinatanong about the world or about yung mga about the things that they see or people they encounter. So, di ba, kahit tayo hindi natin alam lahat. So, what you can do, instead of appearing as somebody for the kids na alam mo lahat, okay, or yun yung fix din nila na you're perfect or ganyan, you can show to them then your process of growing and learning. So, what I do with my kids, for example, if meron silang interest or may topic sila na parang sinesearch all the time, ang ginagawa ko is that we search Google together or we read articles together or we search for pictures together para lang makita nila kung paano din ako mag-learn and paano ako maghanap ng information. Okay? So parang ganun siya. So i-guide mo sila na ganito ako mag-learn. So if there's any information you need and wala ako dun, this is how you look for that information. Okay? And if meron kang information na alam, that means okay lang din yun. Kasi you're in a growth journey. You have a growth mindset. You're still developing, you're learning, you're transforming, ganyan siya all the time. Okay, so yun siya. So pwede mo siya ma-model in kids. Lalo na now, I've noticed actually na ang daming kids na ang dali ma-frustrate. If merong OTs, would you agree? Or if may parents dyan who's dealing with a kid na sobrang takot mag-try ng new things. Or if merong something, especially ito na-observe ko with handwriting or reading or yung mga worksheets, if they have a slight feeling na masyadong mahirap for them, they would just cry or like completely avoid the task para lang hindi sila mag-fail or hindi sila mahirapan dun sa task. Okay, so dun papasok, very important yung growth mindset na mapakita mo sa kids how you deal with difficulties para kapag ka mag-level up sila, okay lang for them. Parang it's okay if mahirapan ka as long as you put in effort. Yes. So yun yung mga keywords na ginagamit natin. It's okay not to be perfect as long as you put in practice. So practice. It's going to start hard, but if you keep practicing, it's going to be easy later on. So yung mga ganyan na mga lines yung pwede nyo i-introduce sa kids who are having a hard time dealing with that one. Ayan siya. Okay. Hello, Sir Harley. He's watching from Marinduque. Thank you, Cesar, for this. We will learn. God bless you, sir. Ayan. Yes, Julia. Hello. Hello, Anika. And hello, Marion. Mommy Marion on YouTube. Okay. She's on YouTube right now. So, and guys, we're done with question number 2. So if you have any follow-up questions, hindi ko actually nakita yung live kanina if ano yung questions, pero there were a lot na of follow-up questions kanina. I'll try to see if pwede pa natin yan mabalik. Anyway, I'm sorry about cutting it short kanina kasi nagka-error siya and I don't know how to troubleshoot it yet. So, yes, ganun din siya. For me, I'm also in a growth journey. Okay. Ayun lang. Let's see ano yung question kanina na live. Okay. Oh guys, dito ko na rin pala ipasok. As I've said kanina, we're opening again the registration until the end of the live for yung behavior management by a black sheep. I'll post a comment here muna. Wait lang. Punta muna ako sa forms para i-open. And this is for people who had a hard time registering last time kasi ngayon nga 24 hours lang natin na open yung registration. So we had a lot of messages asking for it to be open. So it's open now. I just did it a few seconds ago. So you can visit na yung bit.ly link slash growth behavior natin. Ayan, I'll put it here. Wait lang. So you can register again kapag hindi nyo naabutan yung open natin ng form. So you can visit this. I'm gonna see you March 28 to 31. Registration open until the live ends. Ayan. Okay. So you go to this link lang po. It's open again and we're gonna close it after when we end the live. Until the live ends. Save. Ayan siya. Okay. Sige. So we're gonna close it again right after we end the live. Sige. So this time, I think we can go now to the third question. If you don't have any follow-up questions from that. Ayan. Yes, Mommy Casey. Yes, actually, hirap din po talaga some parents to afford OT. And then you can also check some of our videos on YouTube. We have some tips there. Pero yun nga, need lang ng adaptations, especially if you use it in a classroom context. Okay. Sige. And of course, expensive din on your part kasi in your school kasi yun nga, you're gonna have some modifications, especially with the classroom setup. But the cheapest ones you can apply would be changes sa classroom setup on the walls, the table setup, to improve their attention. Okay, sige. So now we're gonna go to question number 3. And this one is a bit long. I'm gonna read it to you. And this is a main concern that parents go through. So here, and hi, Teacher Cesar. I wrote with accumulated frustrations. My son was diagnosed with high functioning autism March last year, and we continue his therapy until December also last year. We had to take breaks because we felt that despite learning his progress, we felt that the therapy is somewhat repetitive and going nowhere. I'm also nearing my due date. That's why we focus on taking breaks from therapy until I give birth last February. We tried summer school in March and saw how excited he is. He is now in kindergarten and still enjoying his class. The purpose of this writing is I want to consult and partially cry out my frustrations. These days, my son is getting more distracted, angry, and hindi sumusunod. I know that us parents should be more strategic in our approach, pero ito na nga, I'm crying kasi napapalo namin siya, and even his dad is getting more frustrated and angry over the time. Teacher, I hate to say this, but we are becoming monsters in the eyes of our child. Ako, I talk to him calmly, but sometimes I get triggered and yes, nagbabato ako ng gamit. My son acts the same. Ang focus lang niya is to get what he wants no matter anong state ng feeling namin. He keeps on repeating what he wants and not listen. I tried different approach even when I am calm. Today, I didn't let him attend class as a punishment for him. I just ignore him, no more salita or so whatever, and I don't give what he wants to. Teacher, me and my husband are tired, but we want to change our approach or ourselves and learn to be more patient and loving to our child. I don't have someone to talk to, and the information on the internet overwhelms us. If you could share some approach we need to adopt po, I'm very willing to learn. Thank you, teacher, and thank you for taking the time to read my letter. Okay, so this is well, first off, i-ano ko muna si mommy. I'd like to commend mommy kasi it takes a lot of courage and also a lot yun yung growth mindset to really ask for help and to acknowledge then na we have limitations even as parents, di ba? Kasi yun nga, um, on top of the difficulties that parents have, nag-a-add ng another layer yung feelings of guilt that you might have, especially if you think na hindi mo nami-meet yung expectations for you as a parent. Okay, now I wanted to focus on this question talaga because it shows na if anybody out there is also feeling this way, it gives us parang affirmation din sa inyo na you're not alone in this. Like even if you're a parent and people expect a lot from you, okay, so hindi ka nag-iisa na you're also in a growth journey. It's something na should be accepted na rin, okay, especially with people around parents na ang tataas na expectations. I know na parents go through these problems and concerns kasi yun nga, hirap na sila with a kid. They have to meet pa the expectation of their in-laws, their relatives, the grandparents, the kapitbahay, paminsan, di ba, sumasali pa. So parang ang daming pressure on the parents and they have to keep up this part. And yun nga, so sa times na nahirapan din yung parent with dealing with these emotions, may additional guilt pa on top of it. So here, sa situation na to, the best strategy would be to attract muna from the situation. Kasi when you're dealing with negative emotions, especially with anger na and frustration, it builds up. Okay, ganun yung dynamic ni anger and also no frustration. The more you try and the more you engage, kapag galit ka na, it builds up. Di ba? Pansin mo yung, that's why it's common, di ba, na yung term na what broke the camel's back, yung last straw na that broke the camel's back, yun yung parang huling thing kung kailan ka pumigay. Okay, parang, I think we're all familiar with that saying, di ba? Or yung parang idiom na yan na yun na yung last, tapos pumitik na siya. Parang ganyan, di ba? So, that's why with anger, ang gusto mong mangyari is that you have to take a step back muna, atras ka muna, kasi the more you try, in a state na frustrated ka na and angry, hindi ka na talaga makaka-focus, hindi na logical yung decisions mo, and it's gonna get worse. Okay? So, you'll get angrier and angrier kapag ka nag-engage ka pa, nagalit ka na to begin with. Okay? So, in this situation, ang recommendation ka talaga is to take a step back, not just in small situations. I actually talked to mommy in private about this one, na they can ask muna somebody in the family to handle muna the kid for a few days and then attract din muna sila as a couple, okay, as parents. Kasi you want to assess the situation from afar para hindi ka galit. Okay, kasi gusto mo makita muna yung buong situation and it's really hard to take these changes lalo na with yun nga, with how you deal with your child kapag andun ka, okay, na naggumagawa din ng plan. Okay, so that's why yun yung purpose din, that's why we're having the seminar, yung growth, yung behavior management by a black sheep. Kasi of course, when my mom was dealing with me, she also had to deal with her own frustrations then and her own view of herself as a parent. Okay, so hindi mo makikita kasi if you look at the situation, balik tayo doon sa case muna. Okay, they're having trouble managing the child. The child is also resisting, di ba? So mas lumalala siya, and ang nangyayari, they get angry, it gets physical, and the kid then also gets physical. So the way you're managing your anger and your frustration, yun din yung nakikita ng kid. Kasi wala siyang ibang model for managing those feelings. Now, if you don't know how to manage your own feelings, yun yung masusunod niya rin. Okay, so in times na siya rin ma-frustrate, makikita niya na, oh, ito yung na-feel ni mommy and daddy that time. And how did they act? How did they respond? So, the way you acted, kasi di ba you said na parang dumating na sa point na pinalo nyo or nag-throw na kayo ng things. And that's the same behavior din na pinakita niya when you try to reprimand the child, di ba? So nag-throw din siya, nag-hit din siya. That's why yung recommendation ko is to step back muna yung parents from the situation para mas pagbalik ninyo, mas kalma kayo, mas refresh yung feeling ninyo, and para magka-time din kayo ni daddy together to talk about it. Okay? Kasi kayong dalawa na-overwhelm na, na-frustrate na. Now, ano yung kailangan nyo gawin while you're away or while nag-try kayong mag-regroup and try to assess your strategy? Now, ang pinakauna niyong gawin is that you can already try to, you can already start with, yung parang, you started on a fresh slate. Parang back to zero talaga kayo with the child. Now, it doesn't matter if nasa stage na siya na nangihit or nang throw din ng things. You have to go down talaga and learn how to be calm muna, okay, as the parent. Kasi kapag pumasok ka dun sa situation with your child, ang hirap mag-manage ng behavior if hindi ka kalma. Okay? Ramdam ng kid kapag galit ka na, ramdam ng kid kapag frustrated ka na, and some kids, yun yung ika-cover sa natin dun sa black sheep pa to, magigets nila and makakatch nila yung cues na galit ka na. And if nagalit ka dun sa behavior niya, it means na he is in control of that transaction. Gets? So, siya yung nasa control when you are dealing with that anger. So, he's gonna do some more behaviors na mas magpapagalit pa sa'yo. Okay? And it leads and it becomes a cycle. Okay? The reason why you have to step back and be calm is that makita ng child mo na there's another way to deal with that situation. Okay? So, yun yung purpose for that one. So, yun yung pinaka-starting point muna. Now, we have here, so let's say for example, na-achieve mo na yun, you're calm na. Nasa state ka na you're gonna show to your kid na, I'm a new parent, ganyan. Diba? Parang, I have a new approach, wala ka nang magagawa. This is it, this is the new me, I'm a new mommy, I'm a new daddy, bakit ang ibigay mo, I'm ready, ganyan, diba? But of course, if you're not gonna change your approach, pabalik na naman sa ganun, okay? Now, we're gonna cover this din again sa seminar, but this is one of the strategies. Pero, ang ituturo ko is that you don't have to be angry, okay, before you show the child yung response mo sana to tell them no. Okay, kasi common yan na kapag ka may nabasa ka or may na-learn ka or na-read ka na strategy, you have to be calm. Gusto mo talaga calm ka the entire time. Now, that's not possible kasi of course, you're dealing with so much more. Hindi lang yung kid yung dinidil mo. You have to deal with work. You have to deal with house chores. So, it's common na you're gonna get back to that situation na hindi talaga makikinig yung child mo. Lalo na kapag napansin yung child mo na nagbago ka ng approach. Okay? Kapag nag-change ka ng approach, you're gonna expect your kid. Minsan, ang nangyayari pa, tumataas lalo yung cry, yung volume, humahaba yung time na nagka-cry sila because they want to elicit the same reaction they had from you before. Okay? Di ba dati sumisigaw sila, hindi nakikinig, nagalit ka. So this time, nakikita nila, oh, bakit kalma si mommy? Bakit kalma si daddy? I'll keep crying, I'll keep throwing, I'll keep hitting until magalit siya again. Okay, that's why it's really useful na pumasok ka na kalma para hindi dumating sa ganung point again. Okay? So initially, in the first few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you're gonna expect your child to do that one. Pero if you persist and show to them na kalma ka, it's gonna have a lot of benefits then later on. Okay? So yun yung mangyayari. Now, ano yung sabi ko sa kanina na you can show na the yung response mo early on. Kapag alam ng kid kung kailan ka galit, di ba kids can read na galit ka na with your facial expression, with your body posture, with your voice. Okay? What I meant is that you can tell the kid or show the kid na no na, like na-reach na yung limit or parang galit ka na, kahit na hindi ka pa feeling galit. Does that make sense? Ito, pwede mong ipakita yung posture and voice na parang galit ka kahit hindi ka pa galit. Gets? Kasi what we want to avoid is galit ka na talaga. Like yung real galit ka na. Kasi kapag ikaw na yung andun sa galit na state, go back tayo dun sa cycle, you're not gonna be able to make logical decisions. You're gonna get angry then. It's gonna get out of control. Kapag napakita mo na early on na you can, ang pinaka-effective for me with kids is yung arms sa side or yung crossed arms or yung ganyan na face. Kahit hindi ka galit, you can act pa rin naman na galit para mag-gets na stop na, like yun yung no na message mo sa kanya. With that one, mas madali din for you to shift back to the calm na mode. Okay? So, para kang nag-act, yes, pero it's good na you're in control pa rin. Control mo yung emotions mo para kapag nag-transition yung kid mo to kalma and to participative, mas madali din for you to shift yung parang good mood mo rin. Okay? Kasi madalas kapag napasok ka na dun sa anger na mode, kahit okay na yung kid mo, sumunod na, it's gonna spiral. Okay? So yun siya. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay. Sige. So, we had that messaging, nag back and forth na kami with mommy in private as a inbox. And then, yun din yung sabi niya, so it's better daw now because mas nakaka-focus na siya on teaching the kid or with communicating with also yung goals nila in therapy and also in school rather than with that one yung behavior problem nga. And a lot of that really starts with managing yourself muna. And we're gonna cover those strategies sa seminar natin. So, paano ka kumalma, paano ka mag-manage ng sarili mo, paano ka mag-manage ng kid. We're gonna talk a lot of that, yung ganong strategy kapag ka ando na tayo sa seminar on Monday. Yes, so that will be covered on day 2. Or is it 3? Basta you can check the day 2. Yung managing yung self mo and also trying to help the child use a problem-solving approach para ma-manage yung behavior na kalma and also mas logical din na approach. So, ayun. Okay, good evening, Mommy Angeline. Good evening, Mommy Glyza. And, review pala si Angeline. Ayan. One of your reviewees in gold dyan. Good evening, Angeline. Ayan. From UST. Yes. Okay. So if you have any follow-up questions, type nyo lang. Okay. I-expand ko lang pala from this one, guys. So the next step will be on day 3, yung kasunod for that one, where you're gonna teach na your child by processing the situation. Kasi what you want is to prevent na the situation from happening again. So dito papasok yung teaching your child strategies to communicate yung emotions nila. The goal this time is not to control yung anger kasi it's a natural emotion, di ba? It's a natural response ng kids if ma-frustrate, di ba? So ang goal is not to completely ma-zero yung ganong emotions, but for them to know how to manage it and to use strategies na kapag nagalit na sila, drink water first. And kapag nagalit na sila, or if they get frustrated, they will know how to communicate with you na hindi tapon, na hindi shouting, na hindi behavior na pwedeng masaktan kayo or masaktan sila. Or makasira din ng gamit at home. Okay? Sige. Next one. So if you have any follow-up questions, we're gonna answer that one. But if wala, we can go to the question here sa IG. Here, may follow-up questions. We're gonna cover this one po sa talaga sa seminar. So we have kapag kid defiant, 10-year-old na and uses bad words a lot. We're gonna cover this one po kasi yung strategies na i-cover natin sa seminar, it's gonna start with with day 1, yung shifting yung perspective, looking at the situation. Same thing po na atras muna, and then next one is to prevent it. Followed by managing it kapag nangyayari, and then later on, yung processing ng kids. We're also gonna cover the theories behind it, yung behavioral approaches, yung cognitive behavioral, yung difference nila, and how you can deal with the situation po with para hindi lang siya isang approach. Like you can do trial and error, mas marami kayong bit-bit when you work on this one. So ito po, the whole seminar, you can have a lot of strategies to deal with the concerns that you're saying here. Yan. Lalo na pag 10 years old, you can benefit po talaga with day 4, yung processing. Kasi it's malaki yung benefit niya even with older kids. na mas makaka-understand na ng processing ninyo. Changing yung perspective. Ayan. Okay, sige. Next one. Let's go to, thank you, Ma'am Ads. Let's go to the next slide. Sa IG natin, we have Mariel Fuentespina. Hello, Mariel. And her question is, hi, sir, how do you handle kids who are orally sensitive and only eat specific food na paulit-ulit? So, there are entire training courses talaga just for feeding, just to target picky eating. Pero ang pinaka-starting point with oral sensitivity is you start muna with dealing with yung general calming na sensory strategies. Hindi lang necessarily sa mouth, but also with the arms, the hands, the body, yung pag-try nila ng different textures. So very sensitive yung fingers and also yung mouth natin, tama? Doon yung pinakamalaki ng concentration of touch receptors. So if you can search din the homunculus, yun yung parang visual presentation ng amount ng brain, kung gano'ng kadaming neurons and yung brain ang dedicated for that function. So again, pinakamalaki yung hands natin and the mouth. And you can also expect na very sensitive din yung mouth ng kid mo for feeding. So when you work with this one, start muna kayo with general calming strategies moving inside. So big muna. So start kayo with mga paint, yung mga sensory, what do you call this? Sensory kits, yung parang mga tops and bowls na magdidip sila ng hand or yung different textures, yung mga arts and crafts activities, and then you can move towards yung mga milking din or massages to help them calm down, and then moving na towards the face din. So you have facial massages, yung oral massages, oral exercises para masanay muna sila with the texture, and then yung touch na sensation. Now, you said here na merong specific food na paulit-ulit. It's different for different kids kung ano yung gusto nila the whole time. Pero you have to see muna, ilista nyo muna kung ano yung food na paulit-ulit, and then you can see kung ano yung common sa lahat ng food na yan. Okay, para lahat ng starting point mo to introduce sa kids sa feeding, you want the food, the new food you're gonna introduce, to be close to the texture and the taste na familiar sa kanya. Okay, so merong kid na, for example, mas common sa kanila yung mga nakapack. Like for example, Yakult lang palagi, or Dutch Mill lang palagi, or Oreo lang palagi, or bread pan lang palagi, yung mga ganyan, or basta may specific food lang, or chicken nuggets, McDo na fries, ano pa ba? Yung mga ganyan food, yun yung common. Pero the reason why they want those types of food, lalo na yung mga nakapack, is because they're easy to, parang naka-quality control sila, tama? So it means yung isang pack of Dutch Mill, you're gonna expect the same quality and the same sensation sa ibang pack ng Dutch Mill, right? If they're gonna eat fries sa McDo, it's gonna be the same dun sa ibang fries ng McDo. Unless, di ba, may kids na namimilit, tatanggalin nila yung sunog, tanggalin nila yung soggy parts, yung mga ganyan. And pati yung brand din, they're very particular na ito lang talaga. So you have to see muna ano yung mga, wait lang, dun sa paulit-ulit, it's because it's easier for them to expect. Wala masyadong changes. Okay, so yun din yung gagamitin natin na approach. Tignan mo muna kung ano yung very familiar and paulit-ulit sa kanya, and then you start from there. Titignan mo yung texture, titignan mo yung taste. Now, for that kid na gusto niya ng fries, halimbawa, you can start with food muna. Ano ba yung fries? If you break it down, it's crispy, tama, it's salty, di ba? So you're gonna look for those types of food. So you can have, pag nag-introduce ka ng mga fruits kapag ganyan, you can have the dehydrated fruits, di ba? Yung mga cassava chips, or cassava pala is a vegetable, pero you get what I mean, yung mga chips muna, kasi salty and crispy, pero iba than the fries. At least naka-introduce ka ng something new. Okay, and then you expand from there. So crispy, you can introduce something crispy and sweet. So yun yung mga dehydrated fruits, or mga banana chips, or mga ganun. Nakita niyo yung flow, parang what's similar and familiar, you start from there and then expand. So meron din kids halimbawa na okay sa kanila yung rice and sabaw. May kid akong ganyan. And then I noticed na lahat ng gusto niya na food, gusto niya basa, gusto niya mashed, gusto niya that texture. So, you will notice na that kid, dun kami magsa-start muna with introducing. And sabi ni Mommy, wala siya problem daw with eating yung mga tinola, yung mga sinigang, kasi nga sabaw and basa and ganyan. Now, for that kid, iba din yung approach. Okay, that's why it's important to list down all the food na kaya niyang matolerate and ano yung familiar. Kasi for that kid, iba yung approach namin. Instead of starting with the crispy, we started with the mashed. And ang goal namin is palakasin pa yung chewing niya. Kasi if you think about it, if your kid prefers something na wet or kapag ayaw niya na, kapag gusto niya na basa, mash, di ba? Yun yung mga madaling malunok. So, ayaw niya ng crispy, ayaw niya ng crunchy naman. So, when we look at it, hirap pala siya mag-chew din. So, hindi ganun kalakas yung chew niya, hindi kalakas yung bite niya. So, we use a different approach. So, instead of mashing vegetables, we start muna with mga soft lang, yung madaling madurog pero buo pa rin, like yung mga squash. You can also introduce yung avocado, kasi same, mga ganun, or mangga, na when you bite, madali lang siya mag-chew, so madali lang niya malunok. Pero at least, magandang starting point siya for introducing more solid foods. So that's why, pag feeding, your OT will talk to you about looking at, all common yan, na your OT will ask a list of the things na familiar sa kanya, a list of the allergies, para alam yung i-avoid. And then, may starting point lang kayo on what food to introduce and paano kayo mag-expand later on. Ayan. Okay, so that's it for the follow-up. And ayan, sa mga gusto pa mag-register, we're gonna close again the form pag-end ng live natin. And we're also done with the 3 questions. We're gonna go na to the 2 toys part. So done with 3 questions, we're gonna go to 2 toys. And we're gonna answer this question. Medyo marami tayong toys, hindi lang 2. So, hello Sir Cesar, just found your page here, taga Iloilo City po ako, may anak po ako, GDD and speech delay, 5 years old na, this January until August, this is from last year na OTC son. Pero end of the month of August, na COVID positive siya, that's why na-stop kami sa OT and ST niya. Sir, ask lang po any tips on handwriting grip activity sa home lang gawin. So this is also one of the reasons why we had the video on using kitchen utensils for developing fine motor skills. So you can use that one. Pero in terms of toys, kaya yung video kasi natin sa YouTube, it focused on fine motor skills using kitchen utensils. This time, yung toys na ipapakita ko would be more for more on toys mismo, yung toys. Hindi yun sa home. Ayan. Sige. Eto, solo. So I'll show now some of the toys that you could use. In terms of grip, what you want to work on is things na merong resistance, and also yung kailangan may resistance, or ibig sabihin may level na kailangan siyang maglagay ng effort para lumakas yung muscles in the fingers and also ma-develop din yung control niya. Now, in terms of developing strength and control, start muna, it follows the same rule na gross motor muna to fine motor. So gross motor, you start muna with the very big muscles para when you work on the posture, you work with the shoulders, later on the elbows, the forearm, the wrists, and then yung hands natin, the palms, and then moving to the fingers na movement. Mas easier for your kid to grip and hold the pencil kapag stable yung body niya, okay, yung posture niya, the way they're sitting. So mas refined, mas maganda yung hawak nila if stronger and stabilize yung big muscles nila. Okay? So yung pwede niyo magawa sa bahay, yun yung mga obstacle courses, wheelbarrow, yung pag-carry ng basketball, pagdikit ng things on the wall. So move kayo dun. And then later on, move towards smaller objects. So you can have this one, very common, always ginagamit, Play-Doh. For strength, so you can start with rolling yung ball. So yan, yung roll, squeezing, so ganyan, squeeze out. You can also have rolls and then yung pinch strength naman. So ito muna, ayan, pad to pad. And then later on, you can also have the tripod. So ganyan yung i-work on ninyo with your child. Pwede rin, you can have the ball and then mag-pinch out siya ng maliliit na things. Maliliit na parts ng Play-Doh. So, resistance yung Play-Doh. Okay lang yung bago na soft. And okay din yung Play-Doh na medyo nagamit nyo na yung medyo mas matigas na para mas mahirap sa kanya. And then, of course, you're gonna deal with the strength with that one kapag may resistance. Now, aside from the Play-Doh, you can have these things na parang pick-up sticks. Last time we talked about picking up crayons, picking up lang and then let go, pick up, let go. You can look for smaller materials. So here we have these parang balance horse kit, toy, balance horse kit, balance horse toy. And then what they do is parang ilalagay nila on top of the horse, parang ganyan. Ayan siya. So, picking up pa rin, kahit hindi mabalance, basta yung grip lang ma-work on ninyo. And then, pwede din yung pick-up sticks mismo na toys. Yung pick up and then let go. Pick up, let go. Pick up, pack away. Pick up, pack away. Pick up, transfer. Mga ganyan. Or pick up, let's count. So, all of that na kailangan yung hand niya and then working with smaller materials. Another one would be itong medyo mas matigas pero yung clothespins, yung ipit, sabi, kimpit, diba? Kimpit, tama, sakto ba? Sa Bisaya. Kimpit ka ng pang, clothespins, bale, pang laba. Pero this one is smaller for paper naman. Pero useful yung mga clothespins sa panglaba where the one you use to hang clothes para ma-work on yung strength ng bata. So mag-start muna kayo, pwedeng tulungan muna yung kid, especially pag wala pang control and especially when you're dealing with strength. Parang same with pag sa gym, parang may nagsispot sa'yo or lower weight muna. So since ito, hindi mo ma-adjust yung weight, you can start muna, for example, ipapaklip mo yung maliit lang na flashcard or isang papel, so pwede. And then yung mas mahirap is a pad na kung saan i-open niya talaga ng mas malaki, parang ganyan. Or pwede nyo rin ipahang on a string. Okay, so ipahang nyo on a string para may function din na involved. And then you can have cards na iahang nila. So ganyan, it can also work on strength. What else? Yung from last time yun, yung chalk, yung crayons. You can also have kahit yung iba, kahit yung any arts and crafts activity. So here we have yung mga nature toys natin. So yung mga leaves, you can have twigs na pwede niyang gamitin. You can have these wooden discs din. So yun, yung anything na pick up. Useful din yung coins, yung pick up and then shoot yung coins. You can also use that one. Yung next part na i-discuss to would also be other movements na required when you hold a pencil. Kapag nag-hold ka ng pencil, there's a grip that we call shift. It's an in-hand, sa OT, it's in-hand manipulation. That means you're gonna work with something, with an object, with just one hand, na walang tulong from the other one. Kaya siya in-hand manipulation, kasi nga, just one hand. Now, when you use a pencil, wala akong pencil dito. Ito na lang, from my Mega Sketcher. Kapag naggamit ka ng pencil, ganyan, di ba? So, yung required mo na movements na hindi lang handwriting, sometimes when you pick it up and i-adjust mo yung pencil, tama? So, may movement na ipapalapit mo yung fingers mo dun sa tip, like that, kapag nag-adjust ka. And also, depending on the direction you're picking it up, ito-turn mo din yung pencil, tama? Para ma-correct yung orientation. Now, this includes in-hand manipulation skill, one hand lang. So, you're gonna work on activities that improve yung shift. This is shift. And also yung rotation skills ng bata. Okay? So, yun yung in-hand manipulation skills na nag-involve, ayan, nung grip ng pencil. Now, for the shift, you can work with activities where they turn pages ng book. So, that also works on that one. Also, pwede din itong lacing activity. This also works with shift. So, you have here the string and you have itong mga shapes. Shift yung ginagamit for this one. So, you have pad to pad muna sa string. Wait lang, nasa ilalim siya. Wait, I'll get it first. Okay. So, this one would be pad to pad, yung hold mo for this one. And then, yung part kung saan niya i-shoot. So, pag shoot mo, di ba, you have to put it in and then push, adjust, push, push, push. Tama? So it's the same movement na required for when you adjust yung grip mo dun sa pencil, yung palapit dun sa tip. Okay, so si lacing, even if it looks like play or a toy, it has improvements din talaga on your academic goals, yung handwriting mo. So ayan siya. And using other tools. So next one, aside from that one, you can work na rin with opening bottle caps. So yung pag-open ng water bottle, ibig sabihin yung 500 ml, yung pag-turn mismo, and also you can have glue bottles. So basically opening yung bottle caps can work on yung rotation skills ng bata. So ayan siya. And of course, yung mga activities na ganun, they use materials na andun lang sa bahay lahat. Tama? Yes, so it's easier for you to implement, very easy to apply, and ayun, marami kang mata-target. So, ayun, with that one, if you'll notice, wala pang part na sinabi ko na handwriting agad, right? Like, the goal is handwriting, pero what we talked about was parang puro toys and puro preparation, parang ganyan, okay? Kasi yun nga, these activities naman, they work on the same underlying physical demands and na required din sa handwriting. So when you do these activities, you're gonna expect na magta-transfer yung skills na yun, yung fine motor control, yung strength, yung grip strength, yung control with the pencil, magta-transfer din towards their handwriting activities. Ayan siya. And yung pinaka-close na to the handwriting, you can start again with the crayons sa grip, and then yung chalk. Okay lang yun kapag broken crayons. Better nga actually encourage siya na broken kasi nga kapag ka maliliit, mas ma-encourage yung grip nila. Tama? Especially the tripod. And then you can move on to bigger handwriting materials, and mag-move to the smaller ones. So you can start with the markers, the jumbo crayons. Pero the best way is to introduce ng mas maaga yung yung regular crayons pala para ma-encourage pa yung grip na tama dun sa pencil. So ayan siya. So you can have the chalkboard, ito rin, Baguette Sketcher also works the same way. Kahit wala pang structure, wala pang lines, ayan. So you can work with this one dun sa goal niya. Kahit yung mga stamps here na nawala ko na, ayun pala, ayan. So same din, you can also apply that. Yung pag stamp, you can use those activities to improve yung grip ng bata. Okay, sige. And that's the end of our 2 toys for handwriting. Okay. Sige. We have here a question about biting. We're gonna cover this on the first day sa seminar, understanding and shifting perspectives po on the behavior. So, ang process, I'm gonna teach you the process, paano siya titignan. Kasi for example, when you go with bite, you have to analyze po every behavior. Which, sound effect. Okay, so, you're gonna try to see kailan siya nangyayari, when, the where, with whom, ano yung situation, kung kailan siya lumalabas. So i-analyze mo yan, you're gonna try to see ano yung situations kung saan lumalabas para ma-identify mo yung approach na gagamitin. Kasi with biting, it's not just like biting to hurt you. Pwede siyang means niya of something else, right? So pwedeng yun yung alam niya na pang-call ng attention to communicate, like to get a need. Or pwedeng learning niya lang din. Okay, learning niya about the environment. Nagbabite siya to learn about a toy or an object, or pwede ma-transfer din about a person. So ganyan. So exploration niya bali yung biting. So there are so many different interpretations. That's why it's best na i-analyze mo na siya. You look at the context. So yun yung keyword. Look at the context of when the behavior happens, where it happens, para mas ma-pinpoint mo yung approach na gagamitin mo. So hindi lang biting yung titignan mo, but the whole situation. Kasi of course, yung biting, ayaw mo lang siya mawala. You want something to substitute and to exchange yung better na behavior, like communicating it, or kung yun yung need niya, or expressing pala yung galit niya, or learning the environment, different ways, na pwede mong ipalit para ma-achieve pa rin yung need niya as to why he's biting. Di ba? And mawawala yun. Kasi, yun nga, meron kang binigay na kapalit. It's not just stop biting, no biting, ganyan. What should I do instead? Parang ganun yung i-answer mo dun sa kid mo. Okay? Sige, okay. Best to avoid tiptoeing is the same thing. We're gonna cover din that one. We're gonna cover all of that on the first day. Yun, yung mga ganyang behaviors, yung repetitive, kasi ang daming reasons na pwede siyang lumabas. So that's part of it. So tiptoeing, yun yung throwing kanina, spinning, all these repetitive behaviors we're gonna try to see together. Ayan, when we have the seminar. Ayan. So kanina, we have Ma'am Melanie sa feeding. Yes, about situation, frustrating din. And ayan siya. Hello, Gail. Okay. Sige. So I think we can go na to the next one. Next part natin is one lesson. Wala nang questions, follow up. Yes. Again, if you haven't registered yet, sign up na because when we end the live, we're also gonna say bye-bye na. Okay. We're gonna close during the registration. Thank you, Mommy Catherine. I hope if the register, I'm gonna see you on March 28 to 31. And let's go here to the last lesson, last part. One lesson. And the lesson we're going to cover tonight is that a calm child is raised by a calm parent. So ayan, so it's related to what we had kanina na situation. So that's why our day 3 will cover your self-management strategy. You're going to manage yourself first as the parent para mas ready kayo na mag-deal with the challenging behavior with your child. Okay? So don't worry if you get frustrated, if you have a hard time dealing with the behavior. It's a common concern, and you're not alone in that with managing that concern. Sabay-sabay natin sagutan yan, and also to discover the strategies that you can use. So if there are strategies for kids, what we're gonna cover in the seminar will be strategies then for you para para you'll be more equipped then in managing the child. So, meron mga questions before na parang hindi ba yan dapat automatic for parents? Hindi ba yan siya natural that comes in? So, that's a wrong expectation din, di ba? So, yung managing emotions, ngayon lang tayo nagkaka-highlight, di ba, with mental health and emotional regulation. So, of course, kahit tayo, when we were growing up, wala siya, hindi siya tinuturo in school, right? So, these are skills na parang ina-expect sa atin na dapat ganito ka, dapat kalma ka, dapat marunong kang ganito, di ba? Pero of course, some kids, kahit nga kids na walang disabilities, lalo na kapag may challenges when it comes to, di ba, pag may autism, ADHD, or other disabilities, intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, mas challenging din lalo ma-learn yung mga techniques na to, okay? And also, we're gonna cover what to expect in children, especially na kapag when we talk about being calm and being regulated, yung brains ng kids, they're not developed yet, okay? In the relationship of the parent and the child, ang mas developed na brain yung sa parent, di ba? So, mas ikaw yung may nasa position to be calm para ikaw yung magdala nung pagkalma nung child. Okay? So, yun nga, para since if ma-manage mo yung emotions mo, mafe-feel din yun ng child, even children na hindi na nakaka-verbalize or hindi nakapagsalita pa, they feel those emotions din from you with how you act and how you manage them. So, of course, we want to equip you with that confidence, not just the confidence, then with the strategies when we talk about this in the seminar. So, ayan siya. Yes. So, if you don't have any questions, we're almost reaching an hour. Pero yung first natin na video kanina was 20 minutes na. But I really don't know how to how to deal with it kanina. So, if merong nagla-live videos din dyan, if nag-error yung stream ninyo, tell me then what to do. So, ayan siya. Kasi, and I had to end kanina because nakat yung sa Facebook. But now, since we're nearing at the end of the live, we're also going to close na rin the registration. Yan, maraming kumabol. And we're gonna close it in, sige, pagka 10 1 hour exactly no video. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ayan siya. Ako na pala nakita naman. Yeah, but we're checking na not accepting responses. So that's it. Thank you for registering, for signing up to behavior management by a black sheep. I'm gonna see you again on Monday. We will be sending you the link, the Zoom link tomorrow. So yung mga naghahanap ng link sa emails nila, we're gonna send it tomorrow. We also have instructions. So yung mga hindi pa nag-sign up, um, no po, we're gonna close na. Mami Melanie, actually kaka-close lang. Yes po. Pero we already have the sign-ups. You're gonna get the link in your emails. Meron na instructions. Yung email po na ginamit ninyo to register, that will be the email that you need para ma-authorize po yung pag-join ninyo sa seminar. So that means you need to be signed up on Zoom. If you're not signed up, please make your account na sa Zoom kasi you can only go in the meeting room if naka-register yung email na ginamit ninyo sa registration, ipasok na rin namin dun sa our part of the system. So ayan siya. So we're gonna send you all the emails expected in the morning. Ayan. Okay, and then I'm gonna see you po on Monday for day 1 of behavior management by a black sheep. Okay, so if you have any concerns, no. You wait for 5? May nanonood pala na hindi pa na-sign up. So they were listening. Gusto niyo po ba extend ng 5 minutes? Hindi. Sige po, Mommy Melanie and Mommy Ichi, we're gonna turn it live. Sige po. Okay, so we're gonna give 5 minutes and we're gonna close na so that Mommy Melanie, Mommy Ichi can catch up. But after the 5 minutes, yung mga hindi pa po nag-sign up, don't worry. We're going to have more of this one in the future. We're going to cover different parts din ng development ng child. But right now, we're going to cover po yung behavior because sobrang dami ng parents na ito yung main concern. Yung questions po kanina about tiptoeing, about biting, about shouting in public, nabasa po natin yun. We're gonna deal with all of that one in the seminar na. So ayan. And again, for now, download Zoom na app, the Zoom client, and then sign up na po your account para on the day you don't have to register pa on Zoom. Makapasok na din kayo agad in the meeting room and so that we can also start on time. Makahabol kayo agad. So ayun siya. Okay. So Mommy Marilyn, Mommy, and see you on March 28 to 31 po. We're gonna be together for 4 days. And thank you din, Mom Casey, for being here. Thank you, Mommy Emma. Thank you, Sir Daryl. Ayan. Okay. So if you have any additional questions before we end and before we close the form, thank you, Mommy Christine. God bless din po. Thank you, Mommy Ads. Thank you, Mom Ads. Ayan. Yay. See, I think we also don't have any follow-up questions na for tonight. Actually, medyo marami dun sa first one. I think nilabas yun na yung mga follow-up questions ninyo. And then, hindi ko na mapa-appear here. For Alea, some even OTRPs have registered yung may license na. So we're gonna have professionals in. But the seminar is really designed and created for parents. So yun yung flow niya talaga. There will be themes or concepts na if you're, of course, a professional or a student, medyo familiar na for you. So you might be able to learn something out of it. Pero yung design niya, yung flow niya, primarily for parents talaga. So, ayan siya. So, you can join. There are students, there are also kahit licensed OTRPs who will be joining us din. But yun lang. That's what I see sa chat natin. Naka-design lang siya primarily for parents. Okay. So, ayan. And that ends our 3, 2, 1, grow. We're gonna close na po. We have 5 minutes already. Thank you. And thank you for spending the night with me. I'm gonna see you on Monday, 7:30 p.m. We're gonna start and we're gonna talk all about behavior. Good night.